What's up, everybody? Dan here. Thanks so much for joining in for today's video. So it's hard for me to believe that it's already been this long, but about 7 years ago, I released a video that ended up being one of my most popular videos ever. And that was kind of a top 5 video. And the video was 5 important tips for new sim racers. And there was a couple reasons why I made that video. One, I'll just be honest with you, at the time, the algorithm loved top 5 videos, so I went ahead and jumped on the bandwagon. But two, and the more important reason, is because at that time I had already had a ton of time in sim racing. And if you remember back, we had a huge influx of new players coming into the space at that time. So I thought it would actually be genuinely helpful for me to make a video like that at that time. And apparently it was, because it ended up getting a bunch of views and I got a lot of positive feedback out of it. That being said though, fast forward another 7 years to today, and my outlook on sim racing is completely different. What I really thought was important back then isn't necessarily important anymore. And I thought, because we've got some really big games due to release in 2025, and I think we're going to have another big influx of new players, which is great. But I also think it's good timing for us to revisit that and for me to do another video, because believe it or not, that video still kind of floats around in space and people are still viewing it today when it's not necessarily what I ultimately think is important now. And actually, I don't have 5 of them anymore. I've got 3 things that I really think are important for if you are a new sim racer just getting in today. And these are my genuine beliefs. So we're going to hop on track and I'm going to let you know what those things are in just a minute. All right, guys, we are in the pits here on the Nürburgring, and if you're wondering, we are racing Race Room in the Formula 3, and we're just doing a practice lap here. So let's hop out on track, and we'll discuss these 3 tips that I think are very important now going into 2025 and beyond for new sim racers. Now, like I said, my outlook has changed quite a bit from where I was 7 years ago when I made that original video. So the first tip that I would give is to try not to chase new and better gear. That is something that a lot of people do, and I have totally done that many times myself. But the truth is, you do not have to. Sure, you will probably upgrade your gear eventually, like most people do, but try not to need to do that immediately when you start. Just get yourself some simple gear, get out there and race, and enjoy racing. You don't have to get in this mindset of, man, I'll be faster with better gear, and what's the next best thing, and I need to get better pedals, I need to get a better steering wheel, I need to spend all this money. It's just not really the case for many reasons. One, you may end up spending a bunch of money and your experience won't get better. In fact, I see a lot of people that end up on the Facebook marketplaces for sim racing that probably did just that. They spent so much money and made their system get so complicated that sim racing ends up not getting fun, and then they find themselves selling their stuff. You don't want to be that person. It's fine to just race with a Logitech or something simple and inexpensive to make sure you love the hobby and then just enjoy it with what you have. For example, right now I am racing on a fold-up cockpit. This is like a backyard chair, basically. Many brands make them. This is just one of them. This is the cheapest barrier to entry of a full cockpit. And it's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as a real cockpit or anything like that. But it works just fine. I'm comfortable. I'm driving. I'm using the most cheap direct drive wheel possible. And honestly, I'm just using this direct drive because I'm trying to prove that this cockpit actually will handle it in a review that I'm going to be doing. If not, I'd probably just have some kind of Thrustmaster on here. I've got a T128 or whatever it's called. It's not right in front of me. But the point is, guys, do not chase new equipment. You do not have to chase new equipment. Just enjoy what you have and don't end up making things too complicated. If you make it too complicated, yes, I know I'm holding gears because I'm not paying attention. But if you make things too complicated, sim racing gets less enjoyable. And in my opinion, what I've found in my later years, I'm 42 now, sim racing is generally more fun the less complicated and the cheaper your equipment is. And that's just what I found to be the case. So if you're new and you get into sim racing, try not to fall into that game of chasing the latest and greatest and new gear in general. So that's tip number one. The second tip, and this is a big one, this is a complete 180 degrees from what I said last time. Field of view and camera settings. Last time I said it's very important and you need to use the proper field of view, but you can throw that in the trash. I no longer think that. When it comes to cameras that you choose, hood camera, in-car, third person, follow camera, whatever the hell it is, use the camera that you want to use the camera that you're most comfortable with. And the same thing goes with field of view. I have found many games that the field of view that is set properly for my setup just doesn't feel right. So yes, even me that used to be the FOV police has changed my field of view away from what it is supposed to be for many reasons. Maybe I wanted more sense of speed. Maybe I couldn't see enough, but it doesn't matter the reason. Just use the one that you like best as far as cameras and set your field of view whatever the hell you want it to be, and don't worry about what anybody else says, because it's your game and you paid for it and you play it how you want to. And the third and final tip that I'll put in this video here kind of goes along with that, and that is you do you, boo. Sim race how you want. Do what you want, how you want, when you want. You bought the game, you bought the equipment. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Don't worry about what some guy on the internet, which I thought I was 7 years ago, that knew everything about sim racing. Don't fucking worry about it. You do you, boo. Play what games you want, play them how you want, use the cameras you want, drive the cars you want, and just have fun. Don't worry about what anybody says. Don't worry about anything else. And this is the one hard and fast, most important rule, is to just go have fun. If you want to go do competitive races with real people online, go do that. If you want to race AI, go do that. Do whatever you want to do and do not worry about what other people say. You bought the game. Do what's going to be fun for you. So hopefully these tips, as I try to downshift too many times, hopefully these tips are better. I think that they're better. I think this is what you're going to want to follow if you're new. Just go out and have fun. Don't chase the latest gear. Don't worry about field of view correctness. Don't worry about what camera you're going to use. Use whatever you want. And of course, have fun and play what you want, when you want, how you want. That's all I got for this one, guys. Hopefully this ends up being helpful. Please forgive me. I don't talk and drive much anymore, so I am messing up gears and all over the road and not running where I should be on track. But I want to get this video out, and so that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please click that like button. If you did not, you can click the down button as well, the thumbs down or whatever. And if you're not subscribed, please remember to subscribe, guys. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. We'll see you later.